your house in Greater Washington, Greater DMV. They got all the humidity in the world right there.
Don't you think Le Batard is so happy? He's got a hockey team in the finals. He's got a basketball team in the finals.
He's not going to either of the. He's not going to either series. He's not going to post.
We should declare Miami
He'll be a prime
a
112
zone.
I'll find
Welcome
you there.
to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Jeff Van Gundy has ideas. The SEC contemplates an extra conference game, and Brian Windhorst joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with a comment by Denver coach Mike Malone about Denver's upcoming NBA Finals series with Miami. And Malone said, quote, "For those who are thinking this is going to be an easy series, I don't even know what to say to you people. This is going to be the biggest challenge of our lives. This is the NBA Finals. It's going to be the hardest thing we've ever done," unquote. Wilbon, do you agree with Malone that the Heat pose the biggest challenge the Nuggets have faced?
Yes. I mean, Minnesota has some physically talented players, Anthony Edwards, but they're not smart enough by a million miles to challenge Denver. And the Suns and Lakers put together teams that were reconstructed after the break, and they weren't ready for that. I mean, the Lakers had 20-some games to get it together. They got a lot better, but they weren't ready for that, not for Denver. Denver's been together for a while now, Tony, at least as primary people. And the Suns had Kevin Durant for like 10 or 12 games for the playoffs. They weren't ready. And so now they get Miami, a team that's got the nucleus of its players has been together since going to the finals in the bubble 3 years ago.
Right.
Yes, Miami might be less talented according to all the talent evaluators, but the Heat have a real team and a real coach and a real structure. And I'll say it one more time and roll my eyes, a real culture. So that's what they got, and Michael Malone knows that. Yes, he's on the money right.
I agree with you on all of those points. I believe that who Miami has faced in the playoffs has been harder than who Denver has faced in the playoffs. And the fact that they've beaten Milwaukee and Boston, you cannot sell them short. Even though, and you may agree with me on this, I think you have to make Denver the favorite. I think Denver's a favorite because in the regular season, they won 53 games and Miami won 44. In the playoffs, they're 12-3. They've won 6 in a row. And unlike Boston, they've won all their games at home. And Miami is 12-6. But you're crazy to discount Miami. I mean, I'm sort of wondering what you think Michael Malone is going to say. Like he's going to say, so I'm sitting on my couch and I watch Miami beat Milwaukee and I watch Miami beat Boston and I say, this is great for us. We're going to crush Miami. He's not going to say that. What he's saying is also accurate. Denver has never won the NBA Finals. They've never been to the NBA Finals. I believe Eric Spoelstra is now going to his 6th final at Miami. And Jimmy Butler, this team, is on its 2nd. So even though I make Denver the favorite, Mike, I don't think you can rule out Miami at all. I don't.
No, Tony, I completely agree with you. And Michael Malone and the Nuggets have made work us against the world. This little place, okay, big Denver, this little place is against the world that doesn't believe in us out here in the Mountain Time Zone. No one is picking us. Yeah, well, everybody's picking them. But Michael Malone knows how to sell his team. There's no disconnect with him and his team like there was in Boston. There's none between Michael Malone and the Nuggets. The pitch clock has shortened baseball games, so how could the NBA shorten its games? The Athletic asked ESPN analyst Jeff Van Gundy, and he suggested eliminating free throws until the last 4 minutes. Jeff, before then, if you get fouled while shooting or you get a technical foul, you get the point or points. And he would eliminate halftime or reduce it to 5 minutes. Tony, would these suggestions make NBA games better, worse, or do they make any sense?
Okay, so there's a couple of qualifiers that we have to talk about. First of all, I didn't know that NBA games needed to be speeded up. I didn't know that. I think you're in and out in 2.5 hours.
10 minutes.
I don't think there's a problem there. But here's the thing. I mean, they asked Jeff Gundy about this in light of the baseball chances. He did not get up on a soapbox with a megaphone and start screaming. So let's examine what he said.
No, they asked
I completely agree with him about halftime. I don't think it has to be any more than 5 minutes. I don't even think you have to have it. You're paying a coach to go talk to his players and say, this is what we did right, this is what we did wrong, this is what we have to do in the second half. That's 2 minutes. That's all that has to be. But the foul situation is wild to me. To have no foul shots before the last 4 minutes. Mike, I believe the foul shot is fundamental to basketball. If you don't have foul shots and you award points, then Shaq would have averaged 50 a game and Wilt would have averaged 70 a game. You, like guys like Steph Curry and Mark Price in the old days, worth their weight in gold because of what they do at the foul line. Yeah, so no, I don't see that.
No, you can't take away foul shots. You just can't. First of all, it provides the drama to the game, and it doesn't just provide it in the last 4.5 minutes. What happens early in the game with foul shots dictates often the last 4.5 minutes. And no, you can't have guys who shoot 49% from the foul line, Dwight Howard, just awarded points. No, you can't have that. No. And I don't think the games need to be made quicker. 5 to 10 minutes, you can shave some off. Get rid of some of the timeouts. So coaches don't need that many timeouts, like 7.
100% right.
Keep the halftime because Jalen and Greeny and Stephen A. and I, we need time at halftime. And I like to hear Charles and Shaq and Kenny and Ernie.
You cut the timeouts.
For more halftime. Yes.
You cut the timeouts from 7 to 2. You call it the Joe Mazzulla rule because he doesn't use timeouts anyway, and you save 10 to 15 minutes of dead air. It's dead air. You know,
that's right.
I agree with that. The action is still the action.
I'll agree with that. Timeouts, get rid of them. Yeah.
The SEC football meetings are ongoing. There is a proposal to go from 8 conference games each season to 9. This is accentuated now because of the pending arrival of Oklahoma and Texas, making the SEC a 16-team league. Some coaches oppose it, likely because they want to hold on to easy non-conference games and pad their win total. Wilbon, is it a no-brainer for the SEC to move from 8 conference games to 9?
It's not a no-brainer, Tony. I mean, I don't think it's something that you have to die on a hill for, defending or, attacking or supporting. I don't think you have to do that. It's one of those things some of us in other conferences have already dealt with, like the Big Ten. I understand why some people are lined up on each side of this. But, if the SEC wants to schedule another conference opponent, just do that. And all of them don't have to play Samford every year, which they do in late October when they just take a break and have sort of a semi-bye week or a second homecoming. So I don't want to hear about we have to have another conference. Then just schedule it. You can do that. You can make way for that, or you cannot.
All right. It is not a no-brainer. I agree with you on that. Let's look at the SEC recently. They've won the last 4 national championships. They've won 6 out of the last 8. They've won 13 out of the last 16 national championships. So why should they fool around with their formula? Let's take your conference, the Big Ten, where they do play 9, right? In the Big Ten, they've won 1 national championship in the last 16 years. Ohio State in, 2014.
13,
so you don't have to do this. Yeah. No, I mean, it's great